USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Brooks Running reminds us that we're all powered by something. Whether it's the me-time energy of a run after a day at the office, the electrifying energy of your first marathon, or the infectious energy of a group run with your friends. No matter what energy powers you, Brooks has gear specifically designed to unleash it. So lace up and let it out. Let's run there. Visit brooksrunning.com today to learn more.
And welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast, along with my partners, Brian Siegel and Jonathan Talley. I am Curtis Wilson. We are part of the College Huddle Network, and we are brought to you by Dr. Jeremy Counts, our favorite pharmacist down at Counts Family Pharmacy, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy, 301 South Main Street in Blacksburg. Welcome back, gentlemen, to the new year.
New year, new me.
New year, same me.
I'm just here. I don't know if I'm the old me, the new me, somewhere in between. Yeah, it's been.
I started a new job the day after New Year, so I guess that
could technically
pretty fun.
That is fun. We had Hell Week last week down here in Richmond, man. Tally got to hear all about power going out, internet going out. Brian can't take showers. We got bowl water.
I had to melt snow so I could flush my toilets.
That's crazy.
It got apocalyptic down here for a couple days.
That's crazy.
It was wild, man. I mean, what happens when it snows in the South and then it doesn't warm up the next 2 days afterwards?
Yeah.
We can live with snow.
And your water plant has a catastrophic failure, you know.
Yeah.
That happens.
We had some snow for one day, but it didn't get bad. So, it was like one day. And even like the day before, I walked outside and I had short sleeves on. I was like, it's like 50 degrees out here. This is going to be crazy. And then the next day, like I go to sleep and wake up, it's like 6 inches of snow.
Oh, yeah. Well, the whole thing is, did y'all have the day after the snow, it got warm again?
Yeah. Then I was going to say the next day, it was just like my wife is in healthcare. So they had already told him, like, you can't miss work. It's going to snow. We know for a fact it's snowing. You need to be at work. So this was just say like a Thursday. She had to get a hotel room. Her and another lady that she works with got a hotel room that's close to the hospital. So she had to stay there. And then the next night she works at she helps out at a retirement home that's close to our house. And I was telling her, I was like, hey, you can come home. I'll come get you. Cause we got a group around here, a Wrangler group called the Rocket City Wranglers. Shout out to them. And during stuff like that, they just get all, it's like, I don't know, maybe 50 of them. And you can book them and they'll come get you and, take you to the store if they need to, but they definitely help with the healthcare workers. So they was getting the nurses to and from home if they needed to. And I told her, I was like, you can come home. It's not going to be bad. She's like, it's a big hill, and I'm going to just go ahead and stay. So she ended up staying at the retirement home the next night and woke up, and it's nothing. It's like a dust outside. But you just never know in Alabama, man, when you get some ice and snow. The main thing is these fuckers can't drive. Like, I don't try to drive. I'm these fuckers as well. Like, I don't try to drive in it. But you got some people, because Huntsville is so crazy and people are from like all over, they come here and they're like, oh, I grew up in this. And then they don't realize that the roads ain't set up the same way as if you came from the north, or, they don't come in ice. I mean, they don't come salt the roads and things like that. So you get people sliding all over the place.
Yeah, I liked what you said right there. You might have driven it elsewhere, but the roads down here was not made for you to be snowed in and attempting to drive on it. Okay. So that's the good pieces, but
they're not treated properly. They're not built that way. It's not designed for that type of traversal.
It is not designed. But, we're back to reality. We're back to somewhat normal January now. And it has been a little over 2 weeks since we all got together in person. Obviously, we pretty much talk every day via message, sometimes a phone call here or there. So we're always communicating. But we got a lot to unload, because since that point in time, we had the bowl game, tons of portal stuff, no new coaches. We won't get into that in a little while. But let's start off with the news that broke this afternoon. I'm sure y'all all saw it. A huge congratulations as Michael Vick will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame this year. Definitely well worth it. I didn't even know he was on the ballot personally. So I didn't, and it just popped up. I think I saw Andy Bitter, and it was like, Michael's a Hall of Famer. Like, yes, he should be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Right. It's like when you go and I talked to my son about some stuff, and you got so many different eras and something. If you put somebody in a sports era and you remove them, or they play in a sports era and you remove them from that era, does it change the game? Does it their career, what they done, did it have an impact on the game? It changes the game. And when you think about Michael Vick and what he did in the game, like even outside the game, the culture that he created outside of the game changed everything. You go to basketball, you think about AI, like they changed rules. It was like, oh, we got to dress up because we don't like the way he dressed on the sidelines. I mean, AI had little white boys with their hair braided. Like it's just when you have somebody that impacts the game like that, like, come on, man. And then they got stats to go with it. Like, you got to be a Hall of Famer. Nothing else to talk about. So don't get no crazy ideas. None of you crazy people out there that say the man don't deserve it, because he do. I'm going to leave it at that. Brian, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, this has been, to me, a long time coming. I mean, if we're looking at just the 99 team alone, I mean, it's really, I'm shocked he's the third induction from the 99 team and not at least the second. Corey Moore really being the only other one that you could say from a college football impact might have had an equal or greater impact during his time in Blacksburg and during his time playing college football. Obviously, when we talk about Michael Vick's legacy, we're talking about a legacy that does transcend college football. But Tally, to your point, what Mike did at quarterback at Virginia Tech, it definitely had an impact on the game. It changed the way I think a lot of people viewed the quarterback position and what it could be from a combination of athletic ability and arm talent.
Right.
And so I think it's well deserved. And Curtis, I'm gonna pitch it to you, man. What you think?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's a long time coming. And where you see with Michael Vick is the effects of what we see now. Take a look this weekend. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. And I know Josh Allen's white, but Josh Allen, big athletic kid, fast, strong arm. They're super athletic quarterbacks. And that was Michael. Before Michael, though, no one had like the arm. And when I say the arm, Michael could make every throw. Michael knew how to do touch. Michael could throw bombs. I'm still the prettiest ball I've ever seen, and this is him in the NFL, was that bomb to Deshaun Jackson from the 2 skins. Oh, my God. Or some of the Andre Davis stuff where he flips it. His legacy, it's now 25 years, 26 years, Lord have mercy, later, it is now a direct impact on the entire game of football. The entire game of football. And it's well-deserved and so glad for him. Huge congrats, Michael Vick out there. Dwight, I forgot to text you today when I saw it. I'll text you later to say congrats so you can pass that on. And good for him with the coaching job. It's just, one of those great things. So really happy for him. Real quick, let's flip to something else before we hit the Mayo Bowl. Do y'all believe we won 2 basketball games in a row?
Pretty good.
One against some solid competition. One against, I'd say NC State's kind of a mid-level to kind of lower end of the ACC. But at the same time, when we were looking at this roster, we were like two maybe 3 ACC wins total, and you're kind of already hitting that. This early in ACC
it's
play.
January, and they hit it. I didn't watch a game tonight.
I thought it was going to be a very long ACC regular season. So
I've only watched one. I've only watched one game, and that was enough for me. I said I ain't watching none of this shit. Like I just thought it was going to be super bad. And I go back and forth with people online all the time, and I never said Mike Young can't coach because he can. Like he is an old school coach. He knows what he's doing. He can coach, but my thing on him is the retaining of talent. To get to the top of the ACC, you have to have big guards that can play defense, long guards that can shoot, because when you got to think you're going against most of the time UNC and Duke, and that's a rough go at it,
Mm-hmm.
You can throw other teams in there as well. I know Virginia's coach left, but Virginia always has a good team. And you got to be able to have the talent to play with those teams. Just being able to coach a lot of time doesn't get you to that next level in the ACC. Maybe mid-major, sure. But here it's tough. So shout out to Mike Young for his coaching job because he is a hell of a coach. I have to give him his props. I don't know if people think that I think he can't coach. He can coach.
Never ever denied that.
Yeah, I just, like I said, the talent. And he's got talent. He has got it, and I never said he hadn't got it. I think he can recruit pretty good, but it's the retaining of talent. And people say, "Oh, well, it's the NIL or it's this." This was happening before that. So
it was,
in my opinion. But
it was.
I didn't mean to go on that rant.
No,
I wanted to say that I respect Mike Young for what he does when he gets. Hey, he'll put some people out there, and he can run some X's and O's, and the dude can coach. I gotta give him his props.
But to your point, Tally, it's what you talk about the retaining, and that's usually where the old school coaches lose it. It's in the off season. And I'm sure Mike ain't no slouch in the off season running those guys through drills and shit. I'm sure he probably hammers them.
Yeah.
And we're in a day and age, kids don't like that shit. It's easy to transfer. Yep. And so it's one of those things is for Mike Young, because to be honest, he probably ain't going anywhere in the next 3 or 4 years, just the way everything's set up. If you don't like Mike Young, you got to deal with him. But can he find somebody to bring in to almost smooth it a little bit? Like, Coach, we know you want to work them hard, but you got to tone it down just a little bit so they don't leave, so you can carry over. Because as these guys learn your system, why did he not bump off some people at Wofford? Those guys have been with him 4 and 5 years. It was clockwork. They knew exactly what to do. And you take somebody like Lawal, that might be one of the most athletic kids that's ever played at Virginia Tech. Straight up,
he's
unbelievable. Crazy. So, just let's find Mike Young an off-season guru that can help him not lose people.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's like I know his. At times the system can be a little rigid for some guys that are a little bit better at creating their own shot and things like that. So I don't know if some of that is what is chasing folks off. I don't know if, to Curtis's point, some of the off-season stuff. I don't know if it's just, new age and opportunities are presenting themselves. And I'm not talking about necessarily NIL, but I mean, with the transfer portal, you get to look at opportunities that may not have presented themselves when you committed to Virginia Tech. And that may be where you wanted to be to begin with. So, I mean, there's so many different, things that open up for these kids now that just weren't possible, even looking back 5-6 years ago. So
it's crazy.
I don't know if that's the biggest piece of it, whether it's the NIL piece or whether it's, something related to, the scheme or the off-season, regimen that the team goes through. But we seem to churn, especially when it comes to guards. We churn through guards a lot more than,
and we shouldn't.
I would like to see.
And we shouldn't, because his system with some of the 3-point shots and stuff like that, we shouldn't be losing guards.
Right.
I mean, really shouldn't. All right.
Oh.
Let's roll on past that and let's talk about the Mayonnaise Bowl.
Before we get into that, we got some folks joining us. Let's go ahead and throw some names up here.
All right, throw them up there then, man.
Hey, we got
Andretti.
Andretti.
Big weekend for him.
Go Birds.
Andretti, you still ain't played me in this game, man. I've been ready to catch you on this game for a while. Pop that gaming tag. Let's figure out what's going on.
That's right. Hey, we got LeVar in the house.
Always LeVar. What's up, LeVar?
LeVar in the house.
Mile High.
Mile High. He said he wasn't getting video for a while. Mile High, you getting video now? You good?
I did a check. I was able to pull it through on my end, so it looks like everybody else is interacting. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think everybody good.
That everything's looking good. Our man Chris.
Mr. Lester's in the house.
Hey, congratulations to this man.
Congratulations
to
middle of
you got a baby on the way?
Baby on the way.
Why are y'all telling that man congratulations for that baby? Your life about to be hell. You should have left that baby where it was at. Now I'm just playing, man. That's a blessing.
It is.
That is a blessing for real.
It is a blessing. We got Jim up in here. Throw Jim's up there.
We got Jim. Jim had a couple comments here.
That one right there. Yeah, it is a hell of a class that he's going in with. And then, I think the next one is true. Lee Suggs should be in the Hall of Fame. Lee Suggs was an elite running back.
Yeah.
And that year he scored 27? All right, 27 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
It's still crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. All right, well, let's flip it to the Mayo Bowl. Thank y'all. Keep the comments coming. Anything you want to chime in on. 24-10. And, I mean, this is the way I felt about it. We knew what it was going to be, right? We knew what it was going to be. You start looking who they had leave, who we had leave. We had a hell of a lot better players leave than they had left. They lost their tackle and their wide receiver and maybe one other offensive lineman. They had most of their defense intact. They had their quarterback intact. They had their lead running back intact.
Not just quarterback intact, multi-year starting quarterback.
Multi-year starting quarterback intact.
I thought it was going to be 45-7. I ain't going to lie to you.
I did too. I was actually, I think I texted y'all after the game, was like, we only lost by 14. That's a win.
I think the problem that I had is that there were still some opportunities that we didn't capitalize on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but let's start with what went well. What did y'all like? And I mean, what was it? Was it mostly them, the young bucks showing out a little bit, or what was it?
Aiden Green and Brody Adams.
Balling.
I mean, you get to see what the next when you leaders in your wide receiver room. I know we bringing into a couple of wide receivers, but when you bring somebody in, you can say, I need veteran leadership, which you do. But you got to have people there that know what the culture is of what you're trying to build at your school. So even if you bring in a kid that's played football for 5 years, college football, that's great that he has some experience, but he doesn't have Blacksburg experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's the thing that you need. So when you see some of the young guys get in and I mean, Aiden looked good. I don't know, man. Some people was hating on Aiden. Like, I always thought Aiden was a baller. But some people was like, oh no, man, he's not gonna be that good. Or, he has too many drops. That's what it was this year. He has too many drops. And I'm like, you gotta take some lumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a young player. He may seem old to us, but what is he? He's gonna be a junior?
No,
Redshirt
sophomore. because he
redshirt
redshirted.
sophomore. Yeah,
he's redshirt sophomore. He
so
played very little his first year. He
Yeah.
played sparingly this year.
Right.
Aiden Green absolutely balled, though. I mean, you look at that stat line. I mean, he was the guy they were looking for. He was getting himself open and all that stuff. I tell you who else impressed me. The stat line isn't there, but we talk about looking for burst and cut. The freshman Tyler Mason, y'all see a couple of his runs where, like, you saw him, he fell and boom. It was just like, and he's the freshman.
And he was running behind a ragtag line. He was running behind me. and that ain't good. I fell down trying to get up off the couch today.
You know,
so
I think some of those holes I could have opened up a little bit better.
Yeah.
Brian's
and I'm 40 and I'm probably
I ain't gonna lie to you. It took me a while, Brian, to watch that game. I knew about it through y'all and some Twitter interaction, X interaction, however you want to say it. I talked to Chris one night, and Chris, he said a couple things. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, wait,
it was late. It was late one night, so I went and watched it late one night, and just seeing kind of what was going on. It was what I expected, but yeah, it was some good stuff that went in. But I was like, yeah, that line was bad, man.
It was. I think we figured this out. I know Brian probably saw it real quick. Actually, Brian, you put something in one of the chats wherein Johnny Garrett's a right tackle. Bar none, hands down. Johnny, we love you, but you got to play on the right side.
I think he's a good tackle, but he doesn't quite have quick enough feet, I think, to play left tackle. He's not your every down left tackle. I think in a pinch you can put him out there, but he doesn't quite have the feet to play left tackle as being a guy that's going to take 50 plus snaps a game at that position.
So that is what it is because the rest of it looked bad, and I mean, and that's what's going to happen when literally probably your three better players aren't there. Say what you want to say.
Can somebody get me a birth certificate on Bob Schick? He's got to be 45 years old.
He older than us.
I know he older than me.
See, I thought he had already used like 3 years of eligibility before we got him.
Nope, he was at a JUCO. He was at a JUCO, and he's getting that rule.
Bob Schick.
Crazy.
He needs to go and find Sam Rogers and work with him with high school students. That's what he need to be doing. I'm just going to say that. I ain't going to go too hard on my boy, but I feel like he done been in school a long time. I think it's time to go.
It's true, but he comes back next year, so yeah. It's a depth piece.
If you're telling me he's a depth piece, he's a guy that's coming off the bench.
He should quit. Is that what you're about to say?
No, he's gonna say Brian probably gonna say he's all right as long as he's a depth piece.
Yeah, as long as he's a depth piece, that's fine. Like, I don't need that person being a linchpin of my offensive line. And that's not necessarily dissing him that much. Like what I'm saying is that I think we've seen the best we're going to see from Bob Schick, and we know that that's not enough. So if he's in the front line next year, that's a problem.
That is a big problem as he's in the front line next year, especially with some of the young guys coming up. Some of the young guys that already played in front of him this year. I mean, the reason he was really playing any this year was because Leif got hurt. Robbie's one of them.
Going to college for 7 years is just fine, Robbie.
Hey.
Playing football on my team is not fine. Get your ass off that offensive line and get over there and call some plays or something.
Tally, I'm going to throw this to you real quick, man, because
we need a player-coach situation.
Yeah, player-coach. Tally, we talked about this because I think you mentioned in a chat somewhere or a message to me or maybe best me and Brian, and you were like, man, this is going to be like the Pinstripe Bowl again. I don't want to watch this. And that's the reason I know you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But what does it say to you when you went back and watched it, where we were in 2021 to where we are now as far as talent level goes? Because to me, it says a lot.
No, it was true. I mean, it's exactly what I said. I think I put some on the timeline about it too. I just asked the question, like, how bad did people think we was going to lose? And all of them was bad. I had no doubt we were going to lose, but I thought it was going to get super bad. So I was like, Yeah, Pinstripe Bowl, 52-7, something like that. But the floor has been raised. I got to give, for as much shit as I do give the coaching staff, or I do give Pry, because all of it falls on Pry to me. Y'all know how I feel.
Yep, that's
But
your philosophy.
I do have to give him his props. He has raised the talent level. He took over a shit show. He has raised the talent level in the room. And I think you see that when you get people like, Keelan Adams with the ball in his hand, they can make plays. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You can see the kid can move a little bit different and a little bit faster than most wide receivers that we had. I don't think that a senior receiver that's graduating, shout out to all my guys leaving, hope y'all go tear it up at the combine and, in the NFL. But I don't think a wide receiver that we had has the skill set of we're just going to say Keelan. I don't think any of them have that skill set. And I don't think Virginia Tech has had a wide receiver with a skill set like that in a while. Even when you think back to like Isaiah Ford, right? Great wide receiver, different skill set. Cam Phillips, great wide receiver for us, different skill set. Bucky Hodges, great tight end, wide receiver, whatever you want to call him, but much different skill set. We haven't had that person that could just take the top off of defenses. Jay Lane was able to show us some things in the short passing game where he could get loose. He was a little shifty. But a lot of times we asked a lot of Jay Lane, and we got him hurt. He played hurt most of the year. So we seen him do some things, but I think we left a little bit on the table with him. Shout out to Jay Lane for playing all those games injured, and Stephen Gosnell as well. But anyway, like you said, Curtis, just to go back to your point, I gotta say, the talent level, the floor of the talent level has been raised, and that's good to see. You do want to see that. So
the only position where you could see that really the talent level had been raised was the position that stood out like a sore thumb, which was the offensive line. You took the two best and two most important positions off that offensive line, and it was evident that was a problem. And that's not knock to the other guys. I mean, I think they were put in a position where they're probably not quite ready. They weren't quite prepared enough for that scenario, and they got exposed a little bit. But pulling back to Tally's point, especially looking at the wide receiver room and the young guys, especially a guy like Keelan Adams, what I like and what I see, and Tally, you kind of alluded to it, but I know we've talked before, there's fast and there's quick. And to me, quick is more important on a football field.
Yeah.
And Brody is quick.
Super quick.
And that's a product of a couple things. That's a product of being fast with the football. That's also a product of being very good with your vision and precise with your route running.
Yeah.
And those are things that he does very well.
A lot of times when you see those receivers that are quick like that, it's usually a small guy. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's 5'8", 5'9". They may be listed at 5'11". Well, Keelan is probably 6'2", 6'1", somewhere around there. So to have that, and he's putting on weight, I think he's probably up to about 180 now. Probably came in at about 170. If he can gain another 10 pounds, I mean 6'1", 6'2", 190. Yeah. With that kind of speed, that's a different beast than we used to. Then you start seeing talent that somewhere like Ohio State has, or LSU, or even Alabama. The wide receivers that's come through Alabama lately. You start seeing that kind of talent level. Not saying we're gonna see the same production because we don't know, but I'm just saying when you start seeing that type talent level come to Virginia Tech, now I want to see what we can do with it. And I know we're gonna talk about it later on, even in the portal. The things that Pry's been able to do, and not even fucking having a DC, which we'll talk about as well. Oh, yeah. But Curtis, I think you had a point there that you were about to jump in on.
Well, the one thing that the Brody play where he made that big run, it was short-sighted, and when he made that cut, he was near the sideline. He knew it's like, I got to go now. When he made that cut, and it was the explosiveness. Because y'all talk about quick. I always like to I watch it close now, guys who are explosive. When I say explosive, it's 1, 2, 3, boom, he's gone. where sometimes it takes guys 6-7 steps before they hit stride. Brody, he made that the cut was impressive, and then 1-2, boom. And the next thing you know, it's 58 yards. Somebody angles him and gets him, and I'm sure people gave Chris grief. I'm sure Keelan got grief. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about those elite traits. You start putting those on the football field, that's how you get better. So I love that. I'm going to tell you one more elite trait, and while we wrap this up, John loves foot.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
That's the one you want. See, people like that is who I want to play college football for 9 years.
Yep, there you go. Robbie.
Not Bob.
John
Shea.
Love.
John Love. Can we keep him in college for 7 years?
I'll be all right
with it. I'll be all right with that.
But I mean,
when he lines up the kick, it doesn't matter where he is on the field. It never crosses my mind that he's gonna miss. It just seems like, you know what I'm saying? He don't miss, man. I'm always confident whenever he gets back there.
Well, just so you know, Tally, he has 2 years of eligibility left. 2 years of eligibility.
NIL money. I mean, if you're a kicker when you go to college, you ain't looking at getting money and pussy. Like, give him both of them. Let's go, man. What we waiting on?
Let's go.
Keep the man happy.
Sure.
Keep him happy, man.
The man in his college career is 88% from field goal range. In the last 2 years, he is 38 of 42.
And we be running.
And it ain't all been short. It ain't all been little scummy ass kicks either.
We running him out there to kick 60 yards, 50-yard field goals. I think one game he had the most points on the team.
He did.
He might have kicked.
He did, yeah.
6. By the way, I know this for you, Tally. That was for you right there.
Had to be. You got JT in the name. Had to be.
All right. So there's the Mayo Bowl. Season over. Is what it is. Let's roll. Let's talk to staff changes, because the last time we spoke, the Matt Moore hire had been made, but it was state of the program. So we were talking 10,000 things, everything. Liquor was flowing, brews were flowing, fun was happening. But let's take a little bit deep at Matt Moore a little bit more, because I don't think anybody's going to deny this. It's not only an upgrade; it's a significant upgrade from Ron. No disrespect to Ron, but it's a significant upgrade.
No, we disrespected Ron, but go ahead.
I try to be cordial here, man. I try to be cordial.
They said Ron Crook was Zoom calling people. Now, if this was happening, I don't know. Chat, if y'all know, let me know. They said my man was Zooming coaching. Say he didn't even have a house in Blacksburg.
Can't do that.
Can't do that, man.
We'll figure that out one day. But I think overall, I want to hear y'all's viewpoints, because obviously now we have gotten to the point where we've read more about Matt Moore. We see what his offensive line's done. Brian, you played O-line when you saw the hire and when you started reading. And I know you got your points, but what are you most excited about with the Matt Moore hire?
A toughness. I think that's a big thing, and an ability to recruit quality talent and develop that talent and get that talent to the NFL. I think that's something Matt Moore has shown. Those offenses at West Virginia have been up and down. The one consistent thing that we saw through that era was the offensive line play was pretty consistent. And there was nothing really to complain about from their play from that standpoint on that offense. So I think that's the big thing for me, is that you're going to get a consistent level of play. You're going to get some good development of the players that are on the roster. So I think by default you're going to get a level of play increase before you even start talking about the guys that he's bringing with him or the guys that he can recruit to play in Blacksburg. So that's why I'm excited. And again, I mean, we talked about guys I wanted. I was big Marcus Johnson, but I said Matt Moore was probably my 1B. If I had to pick guys that I thought were going to be available, would have some opportunities to get hired by the team. So the fact that we got that one, I'm good with it. Let's rock, baby.
Tally, what about you, man?
if y'all need to know anything about Matt Moore, I ain't got to look at nothing else besides he coached at Hoover High School in the early 2000s. Them motherfuckers was cheating. Russ Prost was cheating. They was doing anything that could be. Russ Prost he was living a double life. He had a wife on this side of town and a wife on that side of town. And guess what? He's still cheating. Now he's still cheating right now. In Alabama, Russ Prost is still cheating. I ain't saying Matt Moore cheating. I hope he cheating. I hope that he cheating. But if you don't believe me, you go back and you look up Hoover High School in the early 2000s. They was the first high school team to have a show. I think he was a offensive coordinator, and maybe I know he was the offensive line coach, but I think he was the offensive coordinator. They had a TV show. It's called Two A Days. Go look up 2 days and see how Hoover High School, which was probably 20 minutes from where I grew up, they was like celebrities, man. Like if Matt Moore can make it through an MTV show with no scandals, I know he can go to Blacksburg and cheat. Matt, we gonna help you cheat. Man, shoot, tell us what you need.
Tell us what you need.
Tell us what you need to get a tackle in there right now. Yeah. If Matt was in there and he seen number 70, Matt would have had to tell number 70 to go to Walmart and start bagging groceries. And they don't even bag groceries at Walmart no more. You bag them yourself. He would have made him go down there and do that. Like, hey, Matt gonna be all right. But besides that, looking at what he's got, he got people. He's putting people in the NFL, which is great. You know, he took some recruits from us, which was not great for us, but great for him. And he was coaching in West Virginia. Like, come on, man. How you get somebody to come to West Virginia?
Cheating.
They throwing batteries at people, burning couches. This man is getting people to come over there and they kicking our ass. Thank you, Matt, for finally coming in here to help right this ship, man. We just need somebody to get some big ass country boys. I don't care where they come from. And we just need them to not let the other team get to our quarterback. And tell them to don't sack their own quarterback. Don't step on his feet. You know, don't pull his pants down. None of that. We need you to protect him. That's what we need.
That's what you're getting paid for. I think it's what y'all said, just to kind of cap this off about Moore. It's the development, because he got there in 2019. Colt McKivitz, who's now starting right tackle for my 49ers. I wish he wasn't. He is definitely a great college player and not a good NFL player. Or he is a serviceable NFL player. All-American. That's 2019. Zach Frazier. God, if Zach Frazier, two-time All-American, 50th pick as a center, somewhere like that for the Steelers, and he's every bit. He's going to be their next grade center. You got Mike Webster, you got Dermonte Dawson, you had the Pouncey kid. They nailed him. That kid is unbelievable. And now you got Wyatt Malum, who's likely going to be high pick. He had this other kid down in the Sun Belt. He got picked like in the 80s. The guy takes it and develops it. And it doesn't seem like it matters where it is, because to me, you turned 3 out of West Virginia in a 5-year period for All-Americans, high picks, good NFL players. Y'all, that man knows what he's doing. To your point too, Brian, go look at the run games. Even they did not have a good season this year at all. Still, they got more rushing yards than us. They didn't have a back like Tootin. They still were doing 193 a game.
Yep.
That's insane.
And we haven't talked about the fact that, Doug Nestor finished his time at West Virginia and is now on a practice reserve squad. So still making it. He's out there playing in the NFL. He's not necessarily on a game day roster, but he's still making some moves. So the guy is getting talent into the league.
He's getting talent, and he knows how to recruit, because we'll talk about the guys later that are coming over. These weren't 700-800 ranked guys. These guys were a lot higher. Let's talk about the other 3 positions real quick that are not filled. Strength and conditioning, director of high school relations, and defensive coordinator.
Curtis prompted a scare earlier today.
Well, it still is a question mark to why. If you did not know, now David Cunningham, our buddy over at Tech Sideline, Jared Ferguson's still on the school's website for strength and conditioning, but as of like 2:00 this afternoon, he was not listed on the football staff. Fortunately.
Threw us off for a minute, Curtis.
Well, still though, why isn't he there?
Yeah.
But why isn't he there? He was part of that staff this year. But let's just kind of go into it because I mean something's got to break within the next week, right?
Hopefully, we think it do.
Word on the street is it's breaking sometime later this week or next week. Everyone here, we were hoping it would break before we pressed record tonight, so we could have a little bit more to chew on from a new coach perspective. But now we're still going to be in speculation mode, just like we were, a little over 2 weeks ago. So
we don't know who's been interviewed.
What's everyone's feeling? Which way is the wind blowing for you guys?
Well,
go ahead, Curtis. You start us off.
Start with, and I've said on this for about 3 weeks now. I think it's Tim Walton. I think it's Tim Walton out of Ohio State.
Curtis, before you finish, I'm gonna let you go back. But when you said what you said at the beginning of when we first started looking, when you said Jordan used defensive coordinator,
Tim Hill, yeah.
I don't know, man. That kind of, and then I did a little research. I would be happy with that.
I would be too.
I don't know. I've heard that name come around a little bit. Me, myself, I just don't know if we go that big with somebody like a Tim Walton. But go ahead.
Callie, answer me this. Why isn't Hemphill here then? Because they ain't played in a month.
Because we lie too much. We lie. That's what we good at. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm just hoping that if we do have a B or C, that it is someone like Hemphill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fine.
I would be fine with that. I just don't want them to come out and say, hey, we're going to promote da-da-da. And I'm going to be like, no, that ain't going to work. That's not going to work. We took this long to do this. What are we doing?
Yeah, if we go through over a month of speculating and we end up with a Sean Quinn or we, for whatever reason, bring Bud Foster out of retirement, I know they've said that they're not doing that.
God, no.
I know they said we're not doing that, but I'd be great with Tim Walton. I mean, I know there's words that we at least had some conversation with Banks. I mean, there's words that there's some
Banks won't coming. Banks. Can I say something real quick? Everybody put that bullshit out there. Tim Banks was making $1.5 million at Tennessee. Yeah, that's pretty much our top is 1.5. He was not coming.
I basically heard that the conversation was had. Probably put 1.5 on the table because he essentially matched what Tennessee was paying now, and they obviously cleared it. It's the better play. I mean, no bullshit to us. I mean, right now that's a better place. That's a better job. Right. It's a significantly better job. And I mean, it's an easier job because the recruiting is a whole lot fucking easier if you're Tennessee.
Yep.
It just is. That's the fact of the matter. So I
but
mean,
back to my guy.
I think if even if we were able to beat whatever Tennessee could fucking do, it would still have been a questionable decision as far as whether he would have taken the job.
All right. Back to my guy, Tim Walton. Current associate head coach, secondary coach for Ohio State, playing a national title game on Monday night. If you look back, there's ties to Pry. He was defensive coordinator at Memphis when Pry was a D-line coach there. So there is a relationship there. And I know everybody says, well, that's stupid. You should never do that. Y'all people don't work in the real world. Y'all people work in fictitious CFB 25. I can go hire this guy. You ain't going to hire anybody you don't know, that you don't trust, that you can't have a conversation with. Trust me on that, especially when you're basically putting your life, your coaching life on the line. So it's somebody he knows. I keep painting that picture. You look at Walton's history, JTM putting it up on there. He was a defensive coordinator not only in college, defensive coordinator league, coached several all-pro corners in the NFL. I think it's a fit too. And everybody's like, well, he's home at Ohio State. Like Jim Knowles ain't going nowhere. He ain't getting the DC job there. So for his career at 52 years old, this is probably his last opportunity to get a coordinator job. I think is Walton.
I would love it. Like somebody put in the chat, they said like that's probably as close to a slam dunk as you can get. So, yeah,
short of Banks, yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. It gives you everything that you're looking for, but I'm just like, it can't be. You know what I'm saying? Like until I see it, I'm one of them people that's like, nah, it gotta be. It's got to be some kind of bull crap. You know, it's not gonna be something that good, but
yeah,
we're gonna see.
We're gonna see hopefully soon.
Because like you said, a lot of the people who we talking about, like, why ain't they here? Like they ain't played in over a month. What are we waiting on?
I mean, the two people that make sense why they're not here right now is Dex and Walton. I mean, of the people that are kind of been floated for this job that actually makes sense from a relationship standpoint, history standpoint, what they bring to the table from a footprint standpoint. That's really all we're talking about at this point is Dex and maybe Walton. There may be one or two other guys out there.
Now, if we wanted to really throw our nuts on the table, just go take Hemphill from JMU and give him like $750,000 because they ain't paying that. And that's what you should do. But I think what will happen, this is my opinion, and y'all, I've told y'all this, per sources, right, Brian? Per sources, apparently Quinn impressed with what he did at the linebacker room last month. I think Sean Quinn's going to be the linebacker coach of this unit, of this team next year. The entire linebacker coach. All of them. Now, that does give some openings elsewhere. We figure that out as it goes on. I'm sure some of y'all read message boards and stuff and things that are happening. But that's my feel, is Sean Quinn is the linebacker coach. No title.
So if in that scenario, so what it sounds like to me is if we're targeting what seems to be a DB or probably safety coach from a position standpoint for a DC, whether it be Dex, whether it be Walton. So you look at moving Quinn to a full-time, full unit linebacker coach. Is that when you look at a defensive end specific D-line coach? Do you bring in somebody to work specifically with the D-ends?
Maybe. And somebody said today they thought I was crazy thinking like that they might give JC a co-DC title. I don't think that's crazy at all. Everybody knows the way co-DC shits work. There is the head co-DC and then there is the below co-DC. You don't call plays, you ain't the DC. Yeah. You doing shit. Yeah. I think the way JC his line has worked, the way he's recruited, the face he is, the honest truth is he's making $500,000 right now. He's worth a lot more. You put a co-DC title on him and give him an extra $250,000.
And then another thing too is because we talk about like, can they recruit? Can they do this? A lot of times the DC and the OC don't do as much recruiting as we think. Your name can bring people to us, but like you got so many other things that you do. It's not a lot of recruiting that they do. They may go at the big fish, but the groundwork is laid by some of those other guys. So I can understand why you said that. How I feel about it, I don't know yet. I want to know who that DC is first before I start talking about codes and everything else. But I don't know, man. I'm just excited to hear the news. I want to know like what, who, and what we're doing moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And y'all don't freak out. This light back here keeps flickering, making me feel like I'm in a scary movie. So if I get up and start running, that's why.
If a Demogorgon shows up behind you, I'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so there all that is. You still got those positions. I think probably the first domino's got to fall, right, with the DC. Once DC falls, everything else will fall into place. Some of it will make sense, some of it won't, and we'll be back here talking about it whenever that happens. Trust me, we assume it's next week, so we may go back-to-back weeks, which is something we normally don't do in the offseason. All right, let's flip real quick, talk about a couple recruits here. One actually, 2025 class, Cameron Sparks. What are you laughing at?
That one hit me. Tally. Get it
Hey,
right.
hey, man, I will tell you this. I've upgraded. I talked to the guys before. I had to switch my office out. My son, we're gonna be nice to him today, but he wanted to switch his rooms around, so we had to switch my office in his room. And I got more space in here, so I'm happy about that. And I went from AT&T to Google Fiber, and hey, man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna give the endorsement to Google Fiber. Those guys do not play. They got us set up good. You know, I haven't had no problems. We're gonna knock on some wood. Knock on some wood. We didn't had no problems with the internet since they've been here, and I'm excited about it. So, yeah, I'm glad y'all noticing, man. I did this for y'all. $70 a month. I'm good to go.
He ain't gonna tell y'all that he also did it so he didn't have to drive across town and work in the office every day either.
Oh yeah.
Did it for multiple reasons.
If I'd have been using that other internet trying to work from home, man, I got fired. I've been dropping calls, you know, trying to get on Zoom calls. It'd have been choppy. Y'all know what it looked like. They would have fired me. They would have thought I was playing around. So yeah, it was something. It was something that had to happen. So I'm feeling good about the new internet.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, let's talk about these recruits real quick. The first 2025 Cameron Sparks, top 400 player, top 15 in the state of Tennessee, went to Baylor School, which I know, Tally, you had mentioned that's a pretty damn good school at one point. And I knew this because Tally paid attention to it. At one point, this kid was a 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out. He's 6'3", he's 205, he's classified as an athlete. I mean, it's a great land. We got national publicity out of it because he did it at one of the All-Star games. Yay.
You never know. You never know when you're dealing with recruiting. It could be a coach passes something along to somebody about a character trait, just something they don't like. You know, it could be that they didn't pick a certain school that coach or that recruiter wanted, so they, you know, dropped them. Again, you know how those rankings work. We know how those go. But at the same time, you know, I heard this kid was and it could just be he had a bad year. Could have been an injury. I don't know. But I know that for a while this kid was high on Mississippi State's board, or he was high on their board, or they was high on his board, and I don't know what happened. I just know they said that Virginia Tech was his first offer, and they circled back around, and they stayed the course. And I got to give, and again, I know everybody who follows us and follows me knows, like, I'm hard on the coaches. I'm not a coach, no coach. I'm not a coach lover. Like, I love the school. You know, I want my team to win. Now, I can like some of the things that the coaches do. So I'm always going to be hard on the coaches because they get paid to do this. So whenever I say certain stuff, I just expect them to win. I expect them to put a better product on there. But I got to give props where props is due. Like, Pride knows what he's doing when it comes to relationships. Like, he shows that over and over again in recruiting. And, you know, when you talk to some of the parents and even the players, and they talk about the whole coaching staff, you know, Fontel, Pry, you know, the list goes on and on of the recruiters that we have. Like, they know what they're doing when it comes to that. I think the frustration is we want to see that passion that we put into recruiting on the field. That's just it.
And that's really it. I mean, think about Cameron Sparks. I mean, you know, looking at that ranking, you know, Josh said it here in the comments. You know, sometimes it's, you know, a guy that's really good out the gate, and sometimes competition catches up as you kind of age up.
Right.
He's still getting solid grade. Like, he's a very high 3-star on 3 and 24/7. Still a composite 4-star overall. I mean, so he's a guy that is still considered a pretty high recruit. And when you look at his offers, it's an interesting offer list because he's got some really good offers when you look at those, and then it's like, but it's not the usual, like, murderer's row that you would expect from a guy that had a 5-star label on him at one point. So that's interesting. It does look more like in that high 3, low 4 range. So I think he ultimately got to about where his talent level probably dictates over the course of time. He got there a little bit of a different route than most folks go.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other kid, 26, the second, but the only commit for 26, Carnell Warren, 6'4.5", 195 pounds, Bluffton, South Carolina, top 5 player in the state of South Carolina, top 60 player nationally, 4-star. How long do we hold on to him? I don't know. We know how everything goes with all this stuff. But again, Tally, I didn't even know he was. I think you threw it out there. Hey, y'all know this kid's probably going to go to us, and it's the Under Armour game. It's again one of those big games where a lot of people are watching, and pretty good offer list out here, But it's so early. Like I can't get excited about 26 until after we talk with Matei in March.
Right, right. Well, I mean, with this kid. And again, I'm just a fan, just snooping around boards and hearing certain stuff. I mean, this kid has been high on Virginia Tech for a while. From what I heard, family loves Virginia Tech. I think, he loves Virginia Tech. So I think it had been in the works for a while. He wanted to announce it there. So sometimes that's a good and a bad thing, Like, I know what I want. From what I heard, he's not like super high on the recruiting process. He just wanted to lock in and focus on football. So that could be good. But again, you never know what happens if you go and put a shitty product in the field and somebody loses their job or something. What happens, whatever. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like I said, to get him that early it's cool. But then you get turned around on the other hand and the quarterback, whatever his name was, Falco, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You get him you get him to commit early, and the next thing you know, you seeing the iPhone notes come out. I just want to thank Virginia Tech. Get that shit out of here. Just don't commit that early if you don't want to go there. You want to
exactly.
Yeah, don't use a placeholder, but that happens. That's what kids
do. It does.
It's part of the process now, and I mean, I think that's one thing to think about is that I think overall, I mean, you look at the last few years. I mean, Pry's done a pretty good job of when guys commit, he does a good job of holding on to them. There are those examples that kind of go against that rule, but generally he's done a good job. If guys get in the boat, they stay in the boat. So you feel a little bit better that that commit came early January versus a little bit earlier in the process, like it was with the quarterback. But I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be he's got some good some really good potential, obviously, and another chip in the cap there for Fontel Mines. So
as always, man, as always. All right, let's flip over. I got one more thing before we jump onto the portal stuff. And I don't know if y'all saw this. I think I sent y'all the article, but about basically in unison, all the coaches of the FBS level are saying they want one portal starting the day after New Year's through the 12th, 10 days when you can jump in the portal. First of all, I'll ask Brian, A, do you like it? B, do you think it will stick?
I have less of a problem with the time of the window more than the placement in the calendar. I think that I wish they would just back everything up, including spring ball and start of the semester and all that stuff, and get kind of this ironed out between the 15th and the end of January. I think a 15-day window is probably okay.
Okay.
That
the issues with that's
moving spring ball to May, and so there's a lot of trickle down here because you have to move spring ball to May in terms of academic eligibility and all that other stuff. But that would give you the opportunity to have a window after everything's finished in terms of the sport. The regular season, the postseason, the sport is done for the year. You have your transfer portal window immediately after that, and then those guys are eligible for spring ball when that kicks off in May. You have a May spring ball. You have, your 2-month off season, then you get into camp.
You're the owner of a small business, which means you could use another pair of hands, like the experts at Verizon Small Business Days, August 11th through 17th. Get a free tech check and special deals like a free 5G phone. You know you want one. Call 1-800-483-4428 or visit verizon.com/smallbusiness to book your appointment. Verizon Business. Available for select 5G phones. New line device payment agreement and select data plan required. Credit applied to account over agreement term up to 36 months. Terms apply. Offer ends 8/17/2025.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Tally, anything from this on you?
Man, I don't ever know what these people doing. I just know I feel like they let it get bad so they can come in and regulate stuff. That's what I feel. I feel like they're gonna come in with some stuff next year. Portal windows, I ain't gonna say capping NIL, but paying attention to NIL, knowing about it, all of this stuff that they're incorporating. I feel like they wanted it to be kind of the Wild Wild West, to be like, see, we told you need us. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got coaches quitting and things are getting crazy. So, yeah, I do think it needs to be some stipulations on it. I still don't like them. Like, I don't know how that works with what we're doing with the placement, but I feel like, yeah, stipulations definitely have to be there. And like Robbie said, I mean, there's going to be more changes coming. It has to, you know.
Well, yeah, there's got to be more changes. But the whole thing about the why it has to be at some point before like mid-January, Brian, to your point, yeah, the last 10 days of the month, early February would be great. But school starts in most time middle of January. Kids
That's why
have
you
to
move
be
spring
enrolled.
ball, so they're eligible for spring ball. They don't necessarily have to transfer in the spring window. You move spring ball in May, that's officially summer session. They can transfer. Officially enroll start of the first summer session.
Okay, so I got what you're saying. So you're basically saying spring ball is no longer during school.
No longer during spring semester.
Yeah, well,
that's what I'm saying. No longer during spring semester.
There's no longer during school.
It's the first summer term.
Yeah,
I think I could get along with that right there. I think this is better than what it was. Is it perfect? No. The shit in December, that shit has to go away, one way or the other. That has to go away. If they stay January,
you're fucking up your product. You're fucking
exactly. You're fucking up your product. Well, you're fucking up a lot of shit because at that point there's a ton going on. With you're trying to get high school kids in, you're trying to get bowl prep, and you're trying to figure out what's going on in the portal. I would take this over now. Obviously, Brian, you have the perfect plan, but you could go present that to them, and a bunch of idiots at the NCAA, they just like piss it away. All right, let's roll on. As y'all know, we are brought to you by the Counts Family Pharmacy, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy down at 301 South Main Street in Blacksburg. Also, do not forget to check out Jeremy Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, Blacksburg on the Rock with Paul Van Wagner.
I think he was actually live tonight, so he matched with us this week.
Oh, he matched with us this week. Usually he's on Tuesday. He must have been doing something with the PBMs on Tuesday then,
Hey,
y'all know Jeremy.
He's got a handwritten Lena Khan note now. That man is untouchable.
All happy, man. All right, well, let's talk about the portal, and let's talk about, and if y'all did not count or have not counted, 17 in through the portal. This is clearly the biggest portal class we've ever had. I do pay attention to On3 more than 247. For some reason, On3 is absolutely plugged into it, and they know who's in and who's out. Right now, Virginia Tech, 14th in the country in portal ranking, second in the ACC, only behind Miami. And I want to start on the offensive side of the ball because obviously a lot to replace over there. And I want to start with the skill players. And I'm going to pitch this to Tally first. Tally, of the 4 skill players we picked up, as you started looking at stats, maybe watching their games, highlights, who are you most excited about coming in?
I'll probably say the running back from Bowling Green, Stewart. he's probably the guy that I've been the most excited about, just because we're gonna have such a huge hole to fill with Tootin leaving, and he does put you in a mind of Tootin body size and how he runs, his ability to break tackles and things like that. And I just feel like he had a lot of production. You know, some of the other guys that we're getting, they're more of, you know, potential guys. This guy has a product that he's showed, and you can go and watch, and you are going to get excited about it. So, yeah, I'd say him. I'd probably say Stewart.
Yeah, and if y'all are wondering about Stewart, if you hadn't looked him up, right at 900 yards this year on the ground, over 5.4 carry. And Tally, you're right. He runs a ton like Tootin, and he breaks a shit ton of tackles. Mm-hmm. He's got that. He's a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact, but it ain't much that doesn't change him there. Brian, what about you? He likes Stewart. Are you on that boat, or is there somebody else that's caught your eye?
We're looking at just the offensive side?
Offensive skill players. I'm getting to the big boys next. Skill players.
Okay. All right. If we're looking at just the skill players, the one that has kind of caught my eye is I'm interested to see what Cam Seldon can do, because I'm interested to see how we use his versatility in this offense, because I feel like he does bring a little bit of that Jay Lane type energy. He's going to – we've got a bit wide out. He's going to play wide out like a running back, right? So he's going to be a guy that is going to run through you a little bit, run by you some. The question is going to be with him being a full-time wide receiver, which it seems like is what we're going to use him with some kind of hybrid backfield opportunities there. Can he kind of ramp up his production as a receiver? Is he going to be a guy that you can count on, getting a handful of catches every game, or is he more of a gadget type player that you can kind of use situationally and scheme up against a defense to get some big plays? I don't know which one that's going to be. I'd rather see the former. I'd rather see him be more of a dynamic player than necessarily a gadget player.
Okay, I hear you on that. Yeah, I mean, obviously the big thing about him that everybody's been talking about is he was a Virginia kid. He got recruited hard. He went to Tennessee. As all story with all Virginia kids that leave, you go elsewhere, they gonna screw you. They don't care about you. You got to come back home. Y'all know that. I'm gonna go a little bit different than y'all, and I know I'm not doing this at all to go out here and say, "Oh, you're just trying to be different." I like Marcellus Hawkins, and it's for one reason. He's coming from D2. He's coming from the Mules out in Central Missouri. Yes, that is their nickname. It's the Mules. It's a giant red mule. Go look at the thing. It looked funnier than hee-haw. And if you don't know what hee-haw is, I'm aging myself significantly and where I grew up significantly. But if we look at this kid, he is truly a dual threat running back with what he did not last year, because last year he effectively got in the portal early, what he did 2 years ago down there. But what I think this does more than anything is Hawkins is a junior, a true junior. Stewart's a senior. We are not having to throw a ton on Jeremiah Coney and or Tyler Mason this year. That's what I love about it. You're putting it. Now, if they go out in spring ball, they whip ass, they jump him, that is what it is. But it's not that pressure, because we saw both of those guys, and I like the way they set that up. That room is now sort of set up to say, this is when it's going to be your turn. You jump on them, you jump these guys, or these guys jump you, that is what it is. That's football. But I love the way they've got that set up now. All righty. Let's go ahead. Nope. Thought I heard somebody about to say something. All right. Let's now talk about the offensive line, because we didn't steal all of West Virginia shit. Brian, who are you excited about, if not all?
Give me Thomas Remack, baby. So I'm excited for having a guy that can come in, immediately solidify the interior offensive line, be a leader, which I feel like has kind of been a little bit of a void. I mean, we had Caden Moore, and we're losing him, obviously. So I think this is going to be an opportunity to get some leadership in that room. I think there's some other guys that, could play a big role on this offensive line as well. But Remack is definitely the guy that I'm looking for from a leadership standpoint, from an ability standpoint, to really solidify this room and kind of set the culture of what Matt Moore is bringing in, because Matt Moore is bringing his own brand of toughness as a coach, and Remack is going to be the guy in the room that's going to kind of filter that down to the rest of that unit. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table there. Oh, you're on mute there, Kurt.
Yes, I mean, Brian pretty much hit the nail on the head when he talks about Remack, because it's like we need stuff now. You know what I'm saying? You want to know the other two guys are young that he's brought with him, which is good. We want some youth, and we have some youth, but Remack is going to be the guy he's like, I've been with him. I know, what he expects when he's talking to the other players. Hey, I know he may have didn't pay attention to you when you asked him a question, but that's just how he is. Hey, I know he may have yelled at you, but he does that because of this. This is what he wants. You need a player like that to kind of be a coach in that room with you to get the other guys on board. Because, I mean, when you think about Virginia Tech, those guys have been through, 3 coaches in 4 years? Something like that? 3 coaches in 3 years?
3 coaches in
there's no stability there. So when you have a guy that comes with the coach and he's able to tell him, like, hey, I've been with coach for 3 years, 4 years, whatever it's been, and, man, he's helped me a ton do this. And you can go back and look at his tape. The other guys, they've been with him, he recruited them. But you can go and look at this guy and say, he's done it. You know what I'm saying? He's played at a high level. He's produced at a high level. And this is the coach that helped him got there. So I'm excited about it. But also, if I just had to throw somebody else, Al Turner. Is it Al Turner? Yeah.
Al Turner, yeah.
His upside is nice, much different when you go look at offensive linemen in high school, because most of the time they're bigger and faster than people they're playing. So it's hard to take tape from high school, but he seems to have a high ceiling when you just go look at what he was able to do and his ranking and things like that. And plus I seen him in the recruiting when he was out in his recruiting pictures. Hey, the man had on some retro 4s. If I got a white offensive lineman that's got some retro 4 Jordans on, that means he done been around some black people. So he understands how this world works and he ain't scared. He gonna get in here. He got a little style about himself. His daddy already been getting involved with Hokie Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Which we need him to do that because we crazy. We like crazy people. We hope he crazy. So yeah, man, I'm excited about I'm excited that a coach came in and he brought some shit with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to people taking shit with them leaving. I'm glad he brought some players with him and brought an attitude. And I'll say this, I do got to give a shout out to, won't say no names, but I'll just say a source that I trust was in the room with Matt Moore on a recruiting trip. And he was very impressed with what he's seen and heard from Matt Moore, his recruiting tactics, how he talks to the high school kids, how he's already talking about Virginia Tech. So I didn't see it firsthand, but again, the person that I trust, my family, told me that he's seen it firsthand and gave me a kind of a breakdown on what he's seen and what he heard. And from what he said, I'm excited about it, because when you get a lot of time offensive line coaches, I mean, most people just conceive them as like meatheads. You know what I'm saying? Cut off sleeve shirt, spit tobacco, get out there and block somebody. But when you got somebody who, as it was told to me, can break stuff down, like, hey, when I get you in as a senior, now you're a senior in high school, this is what you need to do this year. This is what I expect you to do this year. And then when you come in as a freshman, you'll be doing this. Breaking it down like that to a lineman, because a lot of times linemen are overlooked by a lot of people. But when you have somebody who will pour into them, because, I mean, who's the highest paid people in the NFL? The guy who's throwing the ball, guy who's catching the ball, guy who's stopping the dude from catching the ball, and the guy who's protecting the guy from throwing the ball. that's throwing the ball, and probably the guy who's rushing the guy throwing the ball. So,
yep.
When you start talking about offensive linemen, they're very important. And as fans, we don't really pay attention to that until you get in something like we was in this year. And you're like, damn, we need some offensive linemen. So I'm excited about Matt Moore being there and bringing some kids with him.
If you don't have at least a good offensive line, you are lowering the ceiling on the talent of the rest of the offense.
You are that.
So,
I want to ask y'all two
look at
questions.
this. Sorry, I was just going to piggyback a little bit on Tally there. You talk about the importance of the offensive line, and I think what we've had a problem with, and what I'm hoping that Matt Moore can help us solve, is the development piece and Tally, you talked about it, bringing some talent with you. So if we had a big criticism of this staff on the recruiting side, they've done pretty well recruiting overall, I feel. But the coaches that came in didn't bring a whole lot with them from wherever they came from previously. They didn't bring a whole lot with them.
Right.
This hire, he's bringing some with him. So I think that speaks to the culture. And as you pointed out, Tally, you're getting some good initial feedback from folks on the road as well. So that bodes well for the future as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to ask you this real quick. First of all, Al Tuner, love getting him. Good counsel kid. Good counsel up in Maryland kid. That's a good football program. Second, Brian and Tally, y'all watched a little bit of Remack. Can he play left tackle? Because he hadn't had the opportunity to play left tackle because Wyatt Milam's been there. And Wyatt Milam's getting taken very high in the draft, somewhere in the first 3 rounds. Does he have the capability to kick outside? He's 6'6", so he's already got the height.
He's got the physical tool. I mean, he's 6'6", 315-ish. So, I mean, he's got the size and the physicals. I haven't watched enough tape on his foot speed to tell you whether he can handle that level of step outside. And like you said with Milam there wasn't really a big opportunity for anybody else to get a bunch of run, especially when you were already good enough to get on the field elsewhere. So I think it wouldn't hurt to try him out there, especially if you don't get another guy that has seen some significant snaps at left tackle at the collegiate level, before the start of spring ball. So it couldn't hurt, and I don't know if that's something Matt Moore explores or if he's going to keep him where he's comfortable because he knows what that level of play looks like.
I just hope he goes and gives somebody another tackle.
Yeah.
I think
that's my preference.
I think that he's got the prowess and the recruiting skills to go get one. I just hope that he can. I know that it's getting few and far between, but hell, with the way this portal stuff works, you never know who's going to jump in the portal next. So I hope we go get another tackle, or like you said, somebody who can at least have some significant snaps. So we're not pushing somebody to do something, and we're letting them go where they're comfortable with. So
this episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Hey, it's Paris. I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
You're on mute, Curtis.
All right, let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball now. Kind of close out with that. Let's talk about the secondary. Sally, maybe we had conversations up there. There are people that were questioning.
Hey, Curtis, can't hear you, bud. You're still.
You sound like you're in a fishbowl.
How about now?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're good.
Tally, me and you were talking, and we were talking. There were some people out there was like, "Why are we getting so many secondary guys and all this bullshit?"
Because they all was gone. We ain't have none.
2 corners left.
Yeah, you had Q Reddish in the room by himself.
Pretty much.
That's it. Who else? You got? You had Jalen Jones is gone.
Gone. Stroman is gone.
Stroman is going to Notre Dame. He was hurt all last year, so we still didn't see him. Phillips is gone. Who else?
Delane's at LSU.
Strong's
going to be getting drafted.
Gone. We got some young talent. We got some young guys, but I think the coaches know they have to win next year. They got to find a way to put a good product on the field next year. It's not going to be, let's develop these guys. I ain't saying nobody's getting fired. I'm just saying you can't keep losing games by one score. You can't. You got to win, and you can't say, well, we had an injury, so that's what happened. You got to have enough. And I just know that I feel like they're like, well, we can't put our eggs in one basket. I feel like, and this is going to get off topic a little bit, but I definitely wish we still had Chaplin. Definitely wish we had Chaplin.
1,000%.
But at the same time, for what they needed to pay Chaplin, what he got paid, we needed so much stuff on that line. I don't know that we could have did it. Like, we give one person this amount or 2 people that amount, but we need 5, So we got to kind of divvy that up over 5 to 6 people. I mean, on that offensive line, we need 8 people to go. We need 8 people to be ready to go that can protect the quarterback. So sometimes it's a committee thing. And I feel like what they looked at in the portal was we might have to do it by committee, Even when you start looking at like wide receivers, you say, oh, we had a lot of wide receivers, or why are we recruiting this? I mean, we were throwing Jennings was hurt. Jay Lane was hurt, if y'all don't know. Gosnell was hurt. I don't know if Quan got banged up, but it's a football season. We got to have people that we can plug into different places, because that's why you lose those games, because you're playing people that's hurt. You don't have enough depth. And then the depth that you have behind it is really young and inexperienced, or they just don't have the talent level to really be playing at the Power 4 level. Some of the people that we may have had on the team. So with that, if I'm a coach, I'm going out and I'm getting everything I can. If you can play, come in here and try to get you a spot. Because, like, we at ground zero. Like, nobody has anything guaranteed. You got to go out and you got to earn it. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what the coach's mindset was, and it should be. Hell, the coaches got to earn it. I'd be telling them that if I was Prime. I'd be like, hey, man, y'all ain't guaranteed nothing unless you're Fontel, because you keep on fucking recruiting your ass off. We just ain't going to say nothing to you. I got to produce too, but it's like, come on, dog. We got to 6 and 7 is not good. Nobody should be comfortable.
Yeah,
that's why.
And between, when we look at the inconsistency that we had at that position, we look at a Stroman that had some struggles staying on the field, whether it was injuries, whether it was targeting dismissals, whatever it may be. Stroman played a handful of games in 2 years. Like, at some point, you got to be available if you're going to contribute.
Stroman played a quarter this year.
Yeah, so
one quarter at Vanderbilt, and we never got to see him this year. So
at some point, you got to be available if you want to be an asset.
Yep. Jalen Jones was a converted wide receiver.
Yep.
And did a great job for us, did what he could do. But at the same time, it's like, what's his level at the level of the guys we're bringing in? I don't think so.
I mean, the attempt was, like, the ceiling was Divine Diablo, but like he never got past serviceable safety. Like, he's a guy that you wouldn't mind having in your 2 deep, but he's not a guy. And unfortunately, we had to be a frontline player for a lot of snaps, game to game, and so that was the problem. You throw in Mose Phillips, who's a talented player, but was young and still learning a lot and made a bunch of mistakes. And we saw those out there. So, I mean, there was, and those guys are no longer with us. You gotta backfill, and you gotta backfill with guys that have seen it and done it, and that you've got enough tape where you can say, I can rely on these guys at this position. Because that's one thing that this secondary, we considered that cornerback room a big asset. We considered the safety room a big liability at the start of 2024. Everybody talked about it. We talked about it. Linebacker room was probably the only other room that, was a bigger concern, right? So when we look at safety, I feel a lot better about safety right now than I felt at any point heading into 2024 or for the duration of the 2024 season, especially once you had a Stroman go down in the first game and found out pretty quickly that you probably weren't going to get him back at any point during the season. So
right.
I feel a lot better about what we've done here. And when it comes to secondary, you can never have too many of those guys because those guys play a lot of snaps. They're running a lot. They're all over the field. Safety wise, you got a lot of big collisions. So, I mean, you can't have too many of those guys back there that you think you can trust and rely on.
So do y'all have a particular favorite? Or like, who's the guy that stuck out, whether you read stats, looked at tape, and said, that's the guy right there?
Talk about in the defensive backfield?
Yeah, the DBs, because we got 6.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you who my favorite was, and not for the reason – well, I'm going to tell you the reason. Q Reddish's brother. That's who my favorite is. Let me tell you why. You got to play the game within the football game. There's another Reddish brother that's still in high school.
Yes, there is.
You may try to go get. You got to play the game, man. You got to play the game. So he's at a D2. I ain't even watch film. I don't know what he can do. I don't care what he can do.
You just get him.
But you got people coming at Q Reddish because Reddish can play. Mm-hmm. Reddish is the future for us in that defensive backfield. And why don't you shut everything down and you go talk to the parents and say, what if I can get all of your boys together? So you're just going to watch one game. Y'all are just coming here. You're just going to watch Virginia Tech. We're going to take care of your boys. We're going to take care of you. So we go and we get his brother and we bring his brother in. And then I see the brothers tweeting, oh, we still got one more to bring. We still got one more out here. And then, I don't know how that works out if the younger brother comes. But, I mean, you gotta be able to do things like that. And I feel like we've missed the mark some in the past, especially with the last regime, of taking the layups. Because when you go get his brother, you potentially with that signing, it shows me that you ain't fucking around. Like you taking it serious. But it also keeps Q here and engaged. And brothers can talk to each other different. You know what I'm saying? They seem like a talented family. So, and the older brother has seen some stuff that probably the young brother hadn't. So he's like, hey man, even if Q is starting or he's getting more snaps, he's like, hey, I can see you're not doing this right. You're going to listen to your brother a little bit different than you listen to any other teammate because y'all got that bond like that. So, and it falls along with what Virginia Tech is. How many brothers have we had? Like, if there's a brother out there, go get him. Now, I'm mad at him because they didn't get Woodson's brother. Get him too. You know what I'm saying? If there's a brother out there, bring him to Virginia Tech. Look at the Gosnell brothers. You put them on the field together, they play good together. Like, I was excited to see them play the game within the game. Even if the older Reddish brother doesn't log a ton of snaps, like I said, I haven't did a lot of tape on him. I was just excited that our coaches are they getting in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Taking it serious.
Yeah, and the youngest Reddish is effectively the highest rated out of them coming out of school. I'll tell you who I like, and Tally, me and you talked about it, and you watched a little tape on him, and you sold me about an hour ago. Isaiah Brown. I screw his name up. Probably screw his name up. Y'all know I can do that. I'm good.
Brown Murray.
Isaiah Brown Murray, because you said it, and you said it perfectly this year. We have to have a nickel cornerback. They have to be specifically made for that. Derek Canteen was that. He unfortunately left because he wanted to play a little bit more. Brown Murray basically is that. And he's got 2 years of eligibility left. You probably sold that to him. You're going to start at nickel. And we rotate nickel in that star position all the time. And I think because that solidifies right there. We know Lovett can play, and now you drop him in. It's like we got a nickel, we got a corner. We got to figure out the other side between Reddish or one of these other guys. That's who I'm excited about. What about you, Brian? What about these guys? Anybody just like, yep.
I like both Tyson Flowers and Christian Ellis. I think maybe Flowers just by a hair here. I like his size. About 2'11", 6 foot. I mean, I think that's a guy that's going to be a big asset back there for us in the safety. And looking at his tape and things like that, I think he's going to give us a consistency of play and a discipline, a controlled chaos that we haven't really had at that position in a while. And probably Stroman came the closest to that when he was healthy and eligible. But I think we're going to see some big things from him. I think he's going to definitely make a big impact in 2025.
And the other big part about getting it, and again, Charlie, this is the game within a game we continue to talk about. You now do not have to put the middle Reddish in probably a bad position for his career. Because he played solid this year, but we know it's like you're a sophomore. You're very still young to the college game. We saw it with Mose Phillips last year. We saw it with his freshman year. He's still making a ton of mistakes where we know as a safety, if you fuck up, it's over.
Yeah, you last line defense.
You blow a coverage, you miss a tackle, you miss a gap, it's done. And I think, to me, like, that's the game within a game. That's also talking to the parents, right, Talon, saying, hey, listen, we're not going to put Q in a situation where he's going to screw up his career. We're not going to put him out there because we're bringing all these other guys. We're getting everything ready, not so much this year, but next year, he's going to be our dog as a safety. So anything else on the secondary room, which is completely remade? If you've got your favorite, throw it in the chat. We'd love to hear it. Love seeing Koval come back home. Should have came here to begin with. That's all I'm going to say. Let's go to the front seven now. And 4 guys there. I still can't figure out what they're doing with one of them, but any favorites on that Bass, Priester, Nash, DeYoung?
Obviously, Jordan Bass is a big fucking name and a big deal in a room that needs some consistency and some experience. And Bass is now a player that has had a little bit of run, and I think it's kind of ready to take the next step. And I think we're going to give him a good opportunity to be a big time player in the middle of that defense.
Kylie, you got anybody?
I mean, yeah, of course you want to say Bass. I was preaching that from the beginning just because it gives you so much athleticism there, like Brian said, in that linebacker room. But anytime you get somebody, on the defensive line that has some production, because I feel like you got to be built in the trenches. Haven't watched a ton of tape on Nash, but watched a little bit. Nash is, from what I've seen, serviceable. And we ain't even. Are we talking about what's his name, the ginger guy yet? Have we talked about him?
I said Junkum. I know I butchered the poor guy's name.
Yeah,
Junkum.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I just know he calls himself the ginger freak or something like that. And he was suplexing somebody and smiling in a picture. I need him on my team. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, let me see. Let me see what he's doing, because I got a feeling that, I mean, he's got a lot of production from him coming from like Eastern Michigan or wherever he came from, and I feel like he's around that same size as Lord have mercy. Come on, Brian, help me out with a name. I'm doing the Curtis.
Oh man,
16 sack man.
Oh, APR.
APR. There we go.
Damn, yeah. Tally really blanking.
Yeah. Same size. Not saying it's going to be the same production because I don't want to put that on the kid, but him coming off the edge is going to be scary. So I'll be excited to see what he does and how he progresses in the defense. But again, I still think we need a little help there in the trenches because, like I said, it's built in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line, everything else doesn't matter.
Yep.
You got Woodson back there. You got Bass back there. You getting these safeties in. You got to have somebody that keeps them off of them. You got to have some guys that are going to require some double teams to keep them off of our linebackers. So I'll be interested to see what they do in that room. But I do like Nash, and I do like the Jacob Free.
Yeah, Jonkum definitely brings a lot of upside. He's kind of one of those guys where you, based on his production already, much like APR, you do that he was going to be able to come in and at worst kind of raise the level of play based on what you already got on your roster. The question is going to be, can he pop and have that high ceiling that we saw from an APR?
Right.
What's that ceiling going to look like? I mean, this is a guy that, had a bunch of tackles for loss, all max selection. He's a guy that I think can make some plays. We've seen his ability there. When he ramps up the level of play to the power forward level, are we going to see a drop off? I think that's the only thing that you would maybe be concerned about with him is that is a step up in level of play, and he played some talented competition. Obviously, he's a guy that was a P4 recruit out of high school, so I mean he's seen the competition level before. Is he going to be able to level up that play as a kind of a full-time starter or rotational player in this defense?
Brian, let me ask something right quick, because I didn't watch the full game. I know y'all did. And Chad, I know some of y'all was at the game and watched the game. A lot of people like what they see from Emmett Laws in the Mayo Bowl. Did y'all get to watch him any, Curtis?
Y'all know I can't. I'm not like y'all. I can't just watch the line. Like I have to sit there with y'all and watch it. So, but from what I heard, people were giving him kudos the way he held leverage, the way he shot gaps quick.
Yeah.
I mean the quickness jumps out real quick. And you combine that with a good amount of power, especially for a kid that hadn't really been in a weight program like that for a while. The fact that he's able to pop that quick, I think, is very, very encouraging for the interior of that defensive line.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought about that because I'm looking at Nash and his size and just the things he done. Because I think Josh put it in the chat. Nash had a good year. A lot of people said he could have been, like you said, first team, but he just had somebody else that was playing with him that was good as well. So it'll be interesting to see, because then this is what blows my mind sometimes, Curtis, when you have people that they'll see somebody recruit go somewhere and they'll go, oh, he came from this school, he's got to suck, or he can't be. But then when you go look at, just say like 2 years ago, Florida State had Jared Verse, right? You go look when we did our show on them. Jared Verse didn't come out of school and go straight to Florida State. Buffalo. He came from
Buffalo.
Small schools, then transfers in, different things like that. In this climate, people are going to transfer. Yep. And when kids go to a small school, they're looking for they're looking to go bigger so they can get to their ultimate goal. Either a bigger NIL or ultimately the NFL. So I never discount a kid just because he came from a smaller school.
Yep.
Production is production. I just hope when they get here, they can progress that production.
Yep. I think the big thing with that is that a lot of times, kids that get recruited out of high school, sometimes the fit and the opportunity aren't there. So they go to a place where they have some fit and some opportunity and get to showcase their ability.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, well, they've shown what they can do. You got some tape. That's something that these other schools that may fit that mold a little bit better and have seen what they can do in that similar style of system. They can say, all right, well, I can see that leveling up here. I can see that working here. I think he feels a need that we have. When thinking about like a defensive line, like, all right, well, you got a big end, but you want a guy that can really get after the passer. Or, you got that guy to get after the passer, but we need a big end that can, be good against the run.
Right.
You got guys that have shown that in a similar type of system, and that's where you can get those comps, and you can get those guys from the FCSs, the
D2s,
the G5, even the D2s, to kind of level up and we've seen some success. I mean, you even look at what Manny Diaz did with Duke and bringing in a bunch of FCS and Division II offensive linemen and turning that team around in 1 year. I mean, it's not something that these guys play at these different levels.
Man,
I mean,
you gotta be
there's
big,
talent everywhere.
Just like Josh said. I mean, first came from Albany.
It was Buffalo. I'm sorry, I was a slightly
No, you're good. But then
off.
if that's too far back, if y'all too young and that's too far back, if you watched any of the college football playoffs this year, who probably jumped out to you was Cam Scatterboot.
Yep.
You know, he started his college career, Sacramento State.
FCS.
Sacramento State. So I don't want to hear about, well, this just because we got this, he must do this, man. Sometimes the kid needs. Sometimes they just need the opportunity. So
it's all play. I think what we're seeing nowadays is like you've got kids with talent, and what you have to be able to do is you got to start playing. Because if you don't get the opportunity to play, ain't nobody looking at you. Nobody can tell. Well, he's a 5-star. He ain't seen the field. I don't know what he can do. And you're seeing the Blue Bloods do it as well as every other school do it now. Yeah. I need somebody I know that can step on that field and play. Well, he played D2 competition. I don't care if he played D2 competition. He had 21 sacks. He was killing everybody down there. He has a 6'3" frame. He's 260 pounds. He can bend. He's got explosion. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if it's D2 or wherever it is. He's got those things. You can bring him here. And that's why you're seeing it. It's actually one of the better things that's happened in college football because you're seeing guys who you never hear the names. You never hear the names. And the next thing you know, you are hearing the names because they're making splash.
Well, those guys you get to hope get a combine offer and pop at the combine. Now you actually get some college tape with them, and they get that combine invite by default because they played at those other schools as they were kind of trending up throughout their career.
We're calling all these names out, and I should have just started with this name, Bashal Tootin.
Bashal Tootin, North Carolina A&T.
Bashal Tootin, man. I mean, who would have thought? Well, I mean, I'm sure he did, but as far as the college landscape goes, even some Virginia Tech fans, who would have thought this kid comes in to Virginia Tech, plays 2 years here, breaks the record for the most yards in a game, and just was a stud, man. You know what I'm saying? Playing behind a shitty offensive line, to be able to do what he did, to get 1,000 yards, if he had a decent offensive line, he might have ran for 2, and he was hurt. How many games did he miss? Even that, you know what I'm saying? In other landscapes, as much as people say, well, I hate the portal, or I hate the way that college football is now, we would have never had and I told somebody this on the timeline, and I said the portal has done a lot of stuff for us that we didn't have. Our best defensive player came through the portal. Our best offensive players came through the portal.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Not a lot.
Our 3 best running backs in this coaching regime and the last came from the portal.
Yeah. Yep. So you can hate the portal all you want. You just hate that you feel like your coach isn't using it correct. But I'm gonna go back to giving kudos again. This coaching staff has not missed much on evals.
They know how to eval.
The portal. Mm-hmm. Their portal evals have been good. So I'm gonna let them cook.
Their high school evals have been pretty good too, because the guys that have seen significant playing time have popped, even if they haven't necessarily been consistent and settled. They popped. Right. They've shown the talent is there.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the portal. And yes, Josh, it gives and it takes away. We know all about that because if we look at where our guys who left went, only one went down significantly. And when I say that, 9 to D1, I think 6 to G5, only 1 to an FCS school.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, and shockingly, we've somehow, flipped that in a way where rankings wise, we got more in than we sent out. And we were worried about how much we sent out. Right. So
right.
I think that shows that we're doing pretty good with the portal. Between the guys we landed, between where we sit, I think with some of this, some of the guys that are still out there as this cycle kind of wraps up here. But
we know what we need.
Yep.
We need one more defensive lineman. We need one more offensive lineman. If they were to get those in the next week, along with making one more exceptional hire, they won the offseason again. They're gonna have us saying stupid shit between now and August.
Yep.
I'll say this.
True.
The moves they made this offseason have made the roster deeper.
Yeah.
We'll see whether the talent level is raised, but the roster is deeper, and it's deeper at the positions that we were poor at last year.
100%.
So,
All right, real quick, Brian, as we start wrapping this thing up, did you get a chance to do your thing, or were you busy with work?
too busy, man. It's been
Busy,
I've
all
been
right.
drinking from a fire hose this whole week.
All right, I just asked. All right, real quick, if y'all don't know, national championship game Monday night, stupidest thing they can do. Let's put it on a Monday night. Let's kill all these working people who like college football. Make them stay up till midnight on a
It's
Monday.
on Monday.
It's on Monday.
That's Martin Luther King Day, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, people ain't working. Black folks, we off. We take.
But you got to work the next day. The game
we-
kicks
we-
off at 8
we ain't
o'clock
worry-
at night.
We ain't worried about that. We barbecuing that day. We out there.
Funny tally. All right, real quick for us who are not here, I never heard anything from Sheldon. Sheldon's busy, y'all. But our music man Jason, he's got actually a few things riding. He made a bet for the Irish to win the national championship about 2 months ago at 20-1. He has not told us how much he put on that. I'm gonna find out that in the next couple of days. But he's got Irish cover to win. I write a Miranda, Ohio State with the win, but the Irish cover. Jonathan Talley.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Becoming the most valuable sports franchise in the world doesn't happen without risk. A man who's willing to bet it all, and the players ready to make their own luck. America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, is the story of the 1990s Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones's impact on NFL history. Featuring interviews with iconic 90s players and more. Watch America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, August 19th, only on Netflix.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find
and
it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you.
Ooh.
Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Who's winning the national title? And is it?
Oh yeah, I thought y'all already knew that. It's Ohio State, man. Ohio State.
How much?
21.
21. I wanted to make sure you
points.
stuck on it because you texted me 21 earlier.
He said 3 touchdowns. Three
Yeah,
touchdowns.
He said uninteresting game. Do your barbecue. Celebrate MLK Day.
Have a
Brian,
good day.
I've got with that -8, I got the Irish to cover, Ohio State to win.
and I'm with Brian. I think Ohio State wins. The Irish cover. I mean, all they're gonna do is lean on the Virginia boys.
Man, don't talk about it. Don't talk.
I mean,
about
it just pisses me off when I see 91 and 30. When I saw 32 do what he did on Friday night, that made me so fucking mad. When he took that little screen out, just
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, anything else before we wrap it up tonight, boys?
You know what? Just sitting here watching some of the way that game against NC State wrapped up, just going to give a little bit more kudos to the basketball team for gutting one out, especially being down 15 early in the second half there. So that was a gutsy win. I don't think this is a very talented team, but I think it's a very gritty team.
I'm trying to look up a stat for you, Curtis, before we get off here.
All right.
This is why I say it's going to be a blowout.
Why you say it's going to be a blowout?
Last 5 years, 2024 or last year, 34-13.
21 points.
2023,
that was the ugly
65-7.
That's the ugly one.
2022, 33-18.
15.
Kind of close, right?
15.
2021,
That's an interesting game.
52-24.
That ain't interesting.
2020, 42-25. You can go back to 2019, 44-16. These games ain't close, man. People keep arguing about, oh, I can't believe they messed up college football and these games aren't interesting. I said, when has the national championship game been interesting in the last 5 years? Might go back. It might have been 2018. I had it pulled up.
I think you're right. I think 2018 was the last.
2018 was the last interesting one.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Was that Bama and Clemson?
I think that was Bama and Clemson. 20. That was Jordan. That was the Tua. Tua when they beat the guy on the cover 2 on the corner.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like y'all, people
7 years ago.
What have you
That's
done
how
for
we had
me
a good
lately?
game.
These people be in their own worlds. I was like, man, I'm enjoying the games. I don't care who loses and who wins.
What about that? Everybody kept telling us we weren't going to get good games. The games Thursday and Friday were good. We stayed up playing poker and literally till the last of those games. And then Friday night, if Steve Sarkisian could get his head out of his ass, why are you running a pistol toss 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage against Ohio State?
He didn't want to win, man. He was drunk. He was already.
Oh, hey, don't joke about that because he might have been drunk. We know the history there. All right. Anything else y'all want to say? We didn't win an hour 45. Hey, listen, we'll say this. If there is a coaching announcement before Wednesday of next week, we will be here live, probably on Wednesday, depending on basketball schedules. But anything else, boys, before we go?
I think we good to punch it, brother.
I think we're good to go, man. Shout out to everybody who came and hung out with us. We know we go a little long. We know it's a weekday. Y'all always come in and give us great content because a lot of times I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just listen at Josh in the chat and regurgitate what he's saying. So appreciate y'all for coming out, Josh, Chris, all our guys. And when you're listening to it tomorrow at work, man, just
Jim,
we're gonna have a positive mindset. We're gonna have a great DC hire. We're gonna get this last couple of pieces in through the portal, and we're gonna start back a line.
There we go. All right.
That's not a lie.
That's not a lie. That is probably the truth. That wraps up this episode of the Boundary Corner podcast, brought to you by the Counts Family Pharmacy in Blacksburg. I'm Curtis Wilson.
Brian Siegler.
Jonathan Talley.
We are part of the College Huddle Network. Check out boundarycornervt.com where you can get this shirt if you'd like. Listen to all of our episodes. You also follow us Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. Really appreciate. We are right at 1,300 for State of the Program on YouTube. Appreciate all y'all going out there pressing that one. It's always a fun one, always an entertaining one. If it's the first time you've ever listened to it and you came back again tonight, Jesus, praise Jesus.
Got all kind of stuff, man. Hey, I don't.
Is that a racer?
I just got all kind of stuff. I don't know where this stuff come from. What else you got?
Follow us on your favorite podcast source. Y'all know all. The randomness of the old room. Tylenol. As always, we let our buddy Jason Long play us out. Check him out at his website, jasonlongmusic.com. Link to all his music, any live showings and everything he's got. As always, we appreciate y'all for listening. And as always, let's go.
Hokies.